Good afternoon, friends. How are you all doing today? I'm sure you all are doing awesome as I am too. So, I'm going to take your topic today of grammar, that is question tag. Do you all know what a question tag is? To begin with, let me ask you, do you know what a tag is? So, a tag is a small strip of paper which is generally at the back of your shirt, t-shirts. And then we also have price tags, which are there on clothes and items that you purchase. So basically, a tag is a small piece, okay, of something. So likewise, question tags too are short questions. You can say they are pieces of questions. You don't intend to ask the entire question because you have already asked the question. You are just confirming the question once again by repeating it in a tag form. That is in its shortened version form. So I'm back again with this table once again to remind you about the different tenses that we have. We have got these four different kinds of tenses: simple, perfect, continuous, and perfect continuous. And we have the present, past, and future as well. So always remember, whenever we want to make a question tag, we have to take the helping verb. So in this case, we have has as a helping verb. So what we will do is we will take has before he, before the subject, and we will say, has he? He has taken breakfast, has he? But there's one more thing that you need to do. You need to not only bring the helping verb before the subject, but we also need to convert the positive into the negative. All right. So, has he will become hasn't he, has not he. See, we have put a negative in the question. So, always keep in mind these are the two basic things that you need to do. You need to pick out the helping verb, take it before the subject, and convert it from positive to negative. If it is negative, you will make it positive. For example, if the sentence was, he has not taken. So you will bring the has in the front and you will say, has he? Okay, I just explained, I'll write it down on the board and I'll show it to you. So suppose the sentence says, he has taken breakfast. Alright? So we will take this helping verb, take it before the subject, and make the question tag as has he. But there's a second thing that we need to do. We need to convert this positive. This is a positive helping verb. We need to convert it into a negative. Has not he. So what is has not? Has not is hasn't. So the question tag finally is hasn't he. Got it? Okay, so what if it were, guys? It's as simple as that. So let me just take you back to this tense and let's see what will we do for all these tense over here. So they have taken will become haven't they? They had will become hadn't they? He will have taken won't he? Alright? So will plus not becomes won't. Same is over here. He will take, will he? In all these cases where we see will, he will be taking, will he? He will, won't he? Will he be taking? Will he have been taking? Won't he? So in all these three forms of verb where we have will, we will say won't he? In case you have he can take, you will say can't he? Okay, just remember to take the helping verb before the subject and convert it from positive to negative or negative to positive. Okay, now look at the continuous tense. So over here, which helping verb can you identify? We have am, we have is, and we have are. So when is comes before the verb, it becomes, before the subject, it becomes he is taking, isn't he? Right? Is plus not, isn't he? They are taking. Are comes before the verb, helping subject, and it will become aren't they? He was taking will become wasn't he? They were taking will become weren't. W-E-R-E, were not they, weren't they? Now we are left with am over here. So what will you do with am? So when I am taking, when am comes before, It is the Americanized version of ain't I, but we don't say ain't, right? Am not becomes ain't. But British English does not use ain't I. So we will say aren't I, A-R-E. All right, this is an abrasion from the normal. So we will not say am, ain't I, because that's the American English. So we will say are not I, aren't I? I'm taking breakfast, aren't I? And this follows the same rule as here because we are not concerned with what goes behind the sentence. We are only concerned with what is there in the subject and the helping verb. So likewise over here we have he has and we have he has. So it will be the same way you have just converted present. We will say he has been taking, hasn't he? They have been taking, haven't they? He had been taking, hadn't he? All right. Okay, so as simple as that. Now we are left with the simple present and the simple past. It's not as simple. Generally, simple gives us a little bit more of a trouble. It's not always as simple as that, as the sentence, as the word says, okay, as it says over here. So he takes. Now, always remember that even though you don't see a helping verb, but there is a helping verb over here which is not seen in the positives. It is seen only in the negatives and the questions. So he takes becomes, there's a does over here. He does not take. Does he take, right? We make questions and negatives with does. Same way over here in the plural form, they do not take. They take, they do not take. And in the past, he did not take, right? So do, does, did is used to make questions and negatives. All right, now we need to make a question tag. So he takes becomes doesn't he, right? They take becomes don't they. Remember, we also need to convert from positive to negative. He took will become didn't he. Isn't it interesting? Right? Okay, so I'd like to go ahead with the exercises. In case you have not understood the explanation part, uh, I would suggest once again just play this on a repeat mode and hear my explanation and then start with your exercises. Okay, so this is the first one. She is not here. So the is goes before the subject and we will say, isn't she? Okay, this is a not. So we will say, is she? Is she? Clear? And that's the answer. That's the tag. It's a question tag. Okay, Sam wants to be an architect. Now this is a positive sentence. So it will become negative. Sam wants. Doesn't he? So remember, Sam wants. So wants is coming in the group of simple present. In case y'all are not sure how to identify tense, guys, let me tell you, it's a very simple thing. I would suggest rather than identifying the simple and the present and the simple past, learn to eliminate what is simple. Okay, so for example, eliminate what is not simple. Like in the perfect and the perfect continuous, you always have the h form of verb. In the continuous, you always have the ing form of verb. So we are left with what a sentence that does not have the h and the ing. So you are like, for example, he takes. It does not have he has or have or had. It does not take the form of taking, right? Right? So same way, Sam wants to be an architect. See, wants does not have, has, have, had of any form. It does not have the ing of any form. Okay, wanting, right? So we know for sure that this is the simple tense. Is it the past tense? Is it wanted? No, it is a present tense. So what will you say? Does. So what goes with simple present tense, singular form? Does, right? So we will say Sam wants to be an architect. Doesn't he? Remember to convert a positive to negative. So we will say, doesn't he? Okay, he recognized you. Recognize the tense first. This is a simple past tense. He does not have had, it does not have ing. So you will use the did form over here, right? And you will convert it into a negative did. So he recognized you, didn't he? Okay, Mira is in the class. So this is a positive sentence. So we will convert the is into a negative. We will say, isn't she? Now Meera over here is a girl. So we will say, isn't she? Okay, Sam eats too much. So Sam eats. So eats over here is simple present tense. Okay, and it's a simple present tense. So we will use the does version. We will say does. Okay, so we'll also convert it into a negative because this is a positive. So we will say doesn't he? Sam is a he. So we will say doesn't he? Okay, she didn't eat anything. Now this has a negative in it. Okay, so you don't need to use a negative now. So the negative will become a positive. So she didn't eat anything. Did she? So did not will become did. Did she? She sent you a letter. Now, sent does not have a has, no ing, so this is the simple tense and it is in the past tense. So, did will come with a negative, right? This is a positive, so did plus negative. Didn't she? Clear? Didn't she? So, the did, which is over here, you will assume there's a did, there's a helping verb here. Take it before she, didn't she? He works hard. Now see, works is the verb over here. There is no has, have, had. There is no ing. So we know for sure that this is the simple present tense. Is it in the present tense? Yes, because it's not worked, past tense. So did will not come. So we will say does. So remember, wherever there is a s, does comes. Wherever there is no s, do comes. Because it's already decided. The verb has already indicated to you that it is in the present tense. There's another very interesting thing that I would like to bring to your notice over here. In case you haven't noticed about verbs, wherever, see, S stands for singular. All singular tense, all singular forms of verb have an S in this. S for singular, S for the S singular verbs. Like, for example, is a singular verb, was is a singular verb, has is a singular verb, plays is a singular verb. Right now, give me more examples. Does is a singular verb. So notice there's a S behind all of them. So it's actually quite easy to remember this. S for singular, S for the S singular verb. Alright, and whichever is the plural verb does not have a S in it. For example, am, were, alright, have. Then we have play, and we have do. Alright, so notice over here there isn't a single S over here. So that's an easy way to remember. This is the singular form. It has works in it. So choose does. Now this is the positive. So you will convert it into a negative. You will say doesn't. Doesn't he? Ravi has not finished his work. So we will take the not and remove it from the helping verb because we are converting a negative into the positive over here. So take the has, take it for the subject and just say has he. Okay, drop the not because a negative becomes a positive. Ravi is the subject over here. The pronoun used for Ravi is he. So we will say has he. Okay, you went to work yesterday. So went again, simple tense. No has have had, no ing. And went is the past tense. And it is in the positive. So we will say did. The past of the simple past, negative of simple past is did, right? So we will say did, didn't. Now this is positive. So we'll make it into a negative. So didn't you? Clear? Okay, so very quickly giving you some more exercises. I'm sure there are many exercises. I'm sure after all these exercises, you would have actually got a grip over question tags. Okay, so you saw something there. Now let's say saw is simple past tense, right? So you will use the did form over here. Did. Now this is a positive, so make it into a negative. Didn't. Take it before the subject. Didn't you? Alright? She sang well. So sang again is a past tense. So we will say didn't, did. Now this is a positive. So we'll make it negative, didn't. And take it before the verb. Take the helping verb before the subject. And we have didn't she. He has been to Switzerland. Now over here, has is there. There is a helping verb over here. This is not a simple tense, right? So just as simple as that, take the has before he. This is a positive has, so make it a negative. So you will say hasn't. Okay, see this is the negative. Hasn't he? Okay, so he drives fast. No has, have, had, no ing, no MSR. So we have simple present tense over here and simple present tense in the singular S. So what goes before does, right? Does is a singular version. So we will say, now this is positive. So we will say negative. Use a negative form of does. Doesn't he? So does goes before the subject he and we have doesn't he. Alright, in this next one we have a helping verb are and it is positive. So are goes before they and becomes aren't they. Aren't they. Got it? Okay, I didn't hurt you. Now this is the negative form. So we will have to make it into a positive. So we will say, did I? So take out the not and we are left with a helping verb did. So take the did before I, that is before the subject, and we have did I. Okay, I'm a little late. So I just told you, if I say ain't I, that's the American version of a grammar. So we don't use ain't I, we say aren't I. Okay, this is an abbreviation. So we will say aren't. Are not I. So it becomes aren't. The contraction of are not is aren't. Aren't I. Okay, so Mukesh sings well. Sings is the simple present tense. We don't have had, no ing, no MSR. Okay, so what will you use over here? Okay, if you got does, you are absolutely correct. So we will use does and this is a positive, so we will make it into a negative. Doesn't. Mukesh is a boy, so we will say doesn't he. Supriya can speak English. So this is our little helping verb. So can goes before Supriya and it turns into a negative because this is a positive. So we will say can't. Now Supriya is a girl, so the pronoun is can't she. Alright? Okay, now we have help. Help is a simple past tense. Okay? So the simple past tense takes a did in it, right? Did. I will show you this table once again. See, over here, this is a simple past tense. Which is the helping verb for simple past tense? Did. Okay, so here we are helped, simple past tense, did. Now this is a positive. So we'll make it did into a negative, didn't. And we will take it before the subject and we have didn't he. In all these cases, make sure you have a question mark. I will use a question mark because there is an inbuilt question mark at the end of the dash. So I haven't used it, but do remember if there isn't any dash and you're just supposed to give the answer, make sure you add the question mark. Okay, moving on to our next sentence. Now see, this is again an aberration from the normal. We have move a bit. Now if you remember, what kind of sentence is this? In one of our first topics, I had told you all that imperatives start with the verb. So this, guys, is an imperative sentence. It also means that there is a you over here. So when we say move, you are directly addressing the person in front of you. So we will say move, that means you move a bit. Clear? So there is no you, but you have to remember to add it in your question tag. Okay? So this is a future form. So when you say move, when you're giving someone an instruction, that action hasn't been over, right? It is in the future form. So in all commands and requests, make sure to use the future auxiliary. So you will say, won't you? All right, won't you means will not you, won't you? All right, so did you all get that, guys? This is an abbreviation. Take this sentence down definitely because uh, it's very different from the remaining. Okay, you don't have the subject over here. You have to imagine there's a you because instructions are given to you. You don't see the will over here. You have to know that all instructions, command, requests are to be done. It are to be concluded in the future form, right? They are instructions. They aren't over yet. The action isn't over. So definitely the helping verb that you will use for a question tag will be will. Now this is a positive, so you will convert it into a negative. Okay, won't you? Okay, they live here. So live, my dear friends, is again a simple present tense. Okay, so we have it in the present form and we have the simple present tense over here. So let's convert it into do plus not, don't. And take it before they. So we have don't, they. Yeah. This is very easy. There are, the moment you see a R, you just have to take the R before there. There are some mangoes and convert the positive to negative. Aren't they? Alright. You know him. So know is a simple present tense. Okay, it does not have a S, so we don't say do, we will not say does, we will say do. You know him. It's a positive, so it will become don't. Don't you? Okay, he never helps you with anything. Now, which is a verb over here? Helps. In this case, never is not a verb, it is an adverb. And adverb of frequency. Okay, 0 times never happens, never. So it's a adverb of frequency. The verb over here is helps. See, and there is a S over here. No has, no ing, there's a S behind. So what does it tell you? This is a simple present tense. So we know there's a does over here, right? And it's in the present, so we will use the negative of it. So we will say, doesn't he? Does goes before he, doesn't he? Okay, next. He spoke politely. So we have spoke over here as a simple present tense. Okay, and it is the past tense, right? Because spoke is the past tense. So we know that this is a positive. So we will use the did form with the negative. Didn't. So did goes before the subject and we have didn't he. Right? Now over here too, the second place does not have a verb. It has an adverb. So just ignore it. Go to the next verb. Doesn't. He hardly does any work. Now is does the main verb or the helping verb? It is the main verb. Does, has, sometimes act as the main verb. Okay. Now in this case, we know it is a main verb because there is no main verb behind the verb. So if it were to be a helping verb, there would probably be a main verb behind it. But that we don't see any main verb over here. It definitely implies that does itself is the main verb. So he hardly does. So we will still use the doesn't form. Okay? The simple present tense. So taking you to that slide once again, does, he takes, does, same thing. So we use does as the helping verb. Does goes before the subject. So likewise over here, the does that you don't see, not this does, this is the main verb. So the does that you don't see, the helping verb goes before the subject. And since this is a positive, we will have a negative helping verb. Doesn't he? Clear? Okay, nobody arrived. Now again, this is an aberration. So arrived tells us that this is a simple past tense. So we will say did. Now nobody arrived. Nobody arrived. Uh, did they? Okay, now This may look as though it is a positive verb, guys, but look at the adverb before it. See over here. So this is in the negative form. So there is a negative essence in the sentence, and that's the reason we will have to convert it into a positive form. Okay, they want to be a doctor. So want over here is the simple present tense. Okay, so we will say now this is a positive, so we will use the negative. Don't. Do plus not, don't. And it goes before the subject, so we will say don't you. Okay, you have a brother. Look here, we have another main verb that sometimes comes as a helping verb. So when we say has eaten breakfast, over here has is a helping verb because has is helping the subject, is helping the verb. But over here, this have is not helping a verb. There's a noun behind it. How can this be the helping verb? So let me show you on the whiteboard. I'll compare both the sentence styles and I'll show you exactly the difference between a helping verb and a main verb. He has taken breakfast. So we have the helping verb plus the main verb. Clear? But suppose I say he has fever. So over here, has is single. It does not have a verb over here. And there cannot be a sentence without a verb. That means this definitely is playing the role of a main verb because the fever over here is a noun. Okay, so we has is not helping anything. It's not helping anything. It is standing alone. It's a standalone verb. So we can be very sure that this is the main verb itself because helping verbs cannot stand alone. Can you say he has breakfast? No, we can't say that. It needs a verb. It needs a main verb. Right? He has what breakfast? He has eaten breakfast. He has taken breakfast. Clear? So likewise over here we have got he has fever. It's standing alone. It does not need another main verb to complete. So definitely that's the main verb itself. So likewise over here you have a brother. So have over here plus a noun. It does not need a main verb because have itself is the main verb. Clear? So we take have before it. You have a brother. And we can't take have, sorry. We will take, I'll just rub that out. So we take the simple present tense. This is a simple present tense. So what is used for the simple present tense? Do is used over here. See, have over here plays the role like how simple present tense takes place. So we will use do over here. Okay? And do goes before they. Likewise, we will say have goes before you. Sorry, once again. Do goes before you. So we will, and this is a positive, so it will become don't you. Clear, guys? I have come to the end of this chapter, and I can give you some more practices maybe some other day. I'd like to leave you all with a small homework. So I want you to practice these exercises once again, go through the slide, practice them once again, and try out these 10 sentences. If given a chance, I may take this up tomorrow or maybe some other day as a revision of question tag. So I hope it's clear and I hope you all have enjoyed this class today. And I'll be seeing you tomorrow again. Take care. Bye. Have a blessed day.